Yeah, I mean, industrial games are always like that. You have to balance your production with your energy demand. Factorio is really notorious for that because if you don't have a way for your factory to start itself back up without power, you have to go deal with it. Yeah, I think production lines are what I really need. Oh, I did make an energized smelter. Sometimes I'm just that thick. I had a lot more. Did I put a stack in here? Yeah, most of the time I tend to craft what I need and then end up having to craft it more often. I gotta step away for a quick second, and then I will be back. Why not? Okay, back. I guess I didn't turn off, or I didn't mute. Oh well. It's quiet anyway. Empty tank. Yeah, definitely need a smelter factory. I mean, it's better to have what you need than not have it. But yeah, in a lot of these packs, there's ways to, especially these skyblock maps, there's ways to generate resources pretty much ad nauseum. Uh, the packs that have more of an overworld, normal Minecraft setup, they force you to. They're usually less about infinite resources. Trying to fly around till something strikes me. Yeah, thank you. I do my best to keep my audio balancing on point, but if you ever hear anything weird, feel free to let me know. Did I have the recipe for this wrong? Enrichment was 3 to 4. Okay, that's why my math's off on that. I was like, I thought I should be getting a lot more nickel dust, but no. I only get a third more nickel dust. I mean, it's still better than 1-to-1. Wish I had a better distribution system. I think the best I can do is it ultimate pipes? Or it's universal pipes if I want to use pipes mod. But they kind of suck for power and... well, they kind of suck for everything. I really need to do mechanism pipes. Where did I have the templates for those? But I need to do all the alloys. And those are decent, but the problem is they're used for a recipe. Interesting. The thing is then you have to run pipes everywhere for them. Yeah. Yeah, I guess go try to find the sweet bee. That one's closer. I wish there was an easy way to look up which biomes by how close they were. Beats it. I mean, all I know is that it gets colder over there. I just need to go till I hit a cold biome. Birch forest. Old growth birch, river, birch forest. I mean, this is better than having to build to it like I was trying to before. Forest. Like anything snowy. Meadow. Stone. Birch. There was taiga, but I don't know if that's cold enough. Because there's also snowy taiga. Oh, let's see if I can get my bee here. Nope. There are no bees in this location that will move to this nest. There we go. This location has bees. Direct bee. And lots of stored time. Oh, there. Hopefully that was my snow bee. So I looked away for a second, and now I gotta get it before it flies itself into... Or sweet bee. Yep. That's a sweet bee. There we go. Another bee down. Now I can make nickel bees and stuff. That's another thing. I gotta set up production. I have yet to automate bees. That's a whole nother thing I gotta do. Minecraft mods are weird. Like, if that was a modded biome, I know it wasn't a modded biome, but there's a chance that if it was like a modded biome, it would have the wrong flags or tags or whatever to work correctly. That can always be a thing. Got the bee. I need to just build myself a factory that's actually functional instead of just piling things on top of everything still. I also don't really need a factory when I'm just going to get most of the stuff from bees. Yeah, I think next stream is when I need to lay out what I need to actually do and rip stuff down and build it back up. Which I've been, like, that was the plan for this whole space. And I keep making these little partial setups. I mean, as soon as I get an AE system, it's just being dumped in an AE system, and then it will all be organized. An applied energistic system is like dumping everything into the same chest. It's a nearly infinitely scalable chest. Okay, enrichment's done. Now I can start making scrap. And that's all running. I mean, you could do that with a bunch of YouTubers that were familiar with this stuff. But I really think just one of them would get ahead, and then it would just be waiting for them to finish. What was it? There was Direwolf 20 and the Feed the Beast team at one point tried to make a Junkyard Wars style YouTube show with modded Minecraft. They would give like contestants like, you can only use these mods, or you can only use these machines, and you have to build something that does a specific task. Which could be more inventive now with like Create, but there's also the trade-off that there just isn't as many mods as there used to be. Like Minecraft, like I keep coming back to, is Minecraft modding used to be really creative. And it's just that a lot of mod authors have moved on, and no real, the ones that have, not to say the mod authors that have come in are bad. It's just that we're getting a lot of the same stuff. So there is stuff like that. I actually started one of my longest time running server plays So there is old Minecraft story time again. I was part of a group called World Anchor, and for a while their group ran a server that was Modded Anarchy. And if you know anything about anarchy servers in Minecraft, they are pretty much anything goes servers. If you find somebody's base, you can steal all their stuff, you can grief it, anything you want. The only things that really are frowned upon are crashing the server, duplication bugs. Like, everything has to be legitimately got, but technically anything goes. So the main thing they tried to impose on the server when I joined it, I was a friend of the people that started World Anchor, and I was invited to this server, or I was told I could get on this server if I wanted. It was a public server at the time. Heavy mods. It was a big mod pack, and it was just anarchy. You get on the server, it's everywhere that isn't taken by somebody is just a blasted hellscape. So pretty much everything around spawn was just griefed 24/7. But there was a chunk claim system in the game, but you had to use commands. Well, World Anchor hasn't been around for a while. They're just a Discord group at this point. But you could use commands to designate chunks, and the game would protect those chunks from other players, but you had to pay monthly rent. But you could also pay a bit ahead in diamonds. And this was I want to say maybe 1.7. So I was able to I survived around spawn for a little while, and then I went, oh cool, but I went way out into the ocean. I was like, okay, if anyone's building out here, they're either building way underground and they're not going to notice me because I'm going to build underground, or they're going to be easy to spot. Because once you claim a chunk, you can build above ground all you want. And as long as you close stuff off, people won't get into your base. So I built underground, under the ocean. So I worked and worked and worked until I was finally able to produce diamonds, which was a very annoying thing in itself. You had to produce tons of power, you had to turn it into UU matter from industrial craft, you then had to turn the UU matter into diamonds. And even then you couldn't automatically pay for your protection, you had to come on the server every once in a while and pay for it. I did find a dupe bug at one point, and I did alert the server to it. They got rid of it, but I did negotiate to keep the item that caused the bug. They just made it so you couldn't craft the item. And all I did was, back then, Thaumcraft had indestructible blocks that only the person who put the blocks down could pick them back up. And so, but they were annoying to make. So I used the duplicate bug to duplicate those. So almost worthless. Basically a decorative block that was indestructible. You could pick them back up yourself, but no one else could. And all I did with that is I made like funny things around spawn. I was a bit of a troll. Because the main thing about this server was there was two factions, the monkey and the snake. And I joined neither of them, to the point that I was on the server so much and refused to join either faction that I became a neutral faction of my own. Like they specifically gave me like a server title that was just like neutral. And I just did a bunch of weird stuff on there and eventually got tired of it, but it was a fun server to be on. Yeah, trap people. I hated getting to my place, so I made a secret hidey hole that was just big enough to put enough machinery in to do an industrial teleporter to teleport me out into the ocean. And it didn't even teleport me into my base. It teleported you out into the ocean near my base. So even if you found it and used it, it wouldn't put you where I was, exactly where I was. But I always knew where it was, so whenever I got put back to spawn, I could go dig into it, seal it up, and then teleport. But it was a fun server. Every once in a while, my friend Carlos, he was one of the faction leaders on that server. He comes in, he streams himself. He's Carlos Moz here on Twitch. But yeah, he used to be one of the faction leaders. I eventually gave up, and then I stopped playing. And from what my understanding was what was funny was I made a monument to myself out of this indestructible material. I made like my history on the server as as like a grave site to myself with signs behind protected glass. And I put the item that caused the duplication bug behind the glass. So and then I came back on way later and found that somebody had actually found a way around it. And caused a lot of trouble on the server. Like my monument was ransacked. There's a bunch of weird stuff. Because I did some fun stuff, like above my monument was a giant diamond-shaped diamond filled with diamond, and then covered in the indestructible glass. There was like beacons around it to show so you could see it from a distance. There's a fun stuff. I built like 4 or 5 different things on that server that were just by spawn, just to mess with people or show things off. It was a fun time. If Minecraft wasn't as dupe bug and like issue ridden as it is now, because you can barely protect a vanilla server these days. If it wasn't as bad as it is now, I would probably try to run an anarchy server or modded. I've just sat here and rambled on. Alright, getting this processing done. Yeah, there was a really interesting time for Minecraft. Yeah. Did I enchant both of these? Yeah, we both have Fortune 3. In case I have to sieve anything. I think I'm pretty much... I think I need that many red mushrooms. It's all processed. This is still running. Definitely don't think I need that much more scrap right now. Even though this is only like a stack or two, stack and a half another rack. Yeah, I mean, there's always games that have fun components that are kind of like find your own fun. One thing I've kind of wanted to go back to, but I haven't found a game that I really want to do it in, is I used to do a lot of counter sniping in like the old Battlefield games. But as the maps got smaller and smaller, that just became less and less viable. I know there's at least one game that's viable in, because there's the, what is it, the gaming grandpa that does that, because he's an old military sniper. But what was it? It was Battlefield Bad Company 2. I got really good. Like, even people sneaking up behind me wouldn't be able to take me out, because they would try to get close, and I would hear them coming up on me, and they wouldn't take me out from far enough because they were worried I'd run away or something. I don't know what it was, but as soon as you got within 100 feet, you started to make sound, and I could pick people up about there. Maybe it was 200 feet. You could start hearing like the faintest footsteps through all the ambient sounds. And I got really good at whipping around, pulling out my handgun, and the first shot would always be somewhere on the body. Like, my first would always be somewhere on the body. The second shot, no matter where you were standing, crouching, the second shot would always be a headshot with my secondary handgun, and then I'd just go back to my 50 caliber long range. And I think I'm positive one round I had like 5 or 6 of those kills on top of the sniping I was doing. My favorite thing in that game was at one point they added a map that was very long range to the point that because I think I was playing on the PlayStation 3 version, if I remember correctly. The map did not load, or the LOD was very bad at a certain range. And they added a map where there were two like buildings being constructed at map or render distance from each other. So I was looking off at this building, and there was like a pallet of drywall, and it just looked like I could see white beams on white drywall on white background. Very little to distinguish what was what. And there was a person there that was using that for cover, another sniper, and I was on an opposing building similar to him. And so all you could do is barely see this person. And this game had pretty decent bullet drop. And so we started taking like sniper pot shots at each other from across the map. And every once in a while you just hear a ping of something hitting the concrete next to you. And at this point we didn't even have to dodge, really. It was so hard to line up these shots that we were both just kind of standing still and taking pot shots at each other. And at one point I line up my shot, take it, and I die. And then like a second later he dies from my shot. Because we had both finally lined up on each other. And then there's just dumb stuff like a finger twitch that accidentally killed like 4 people on my own team. Because in that game, they added the buggy, or the ATV, and the specialist, I believe, if I remember correctly, was the one that had the C4, and we would all put C4 on the buggy and someone would run it in. And either it would blow up on its own, or you could hit the detonator when you saw they died. And we were loading up this ATV, and my muscle twitched, and I hit the detonator. And in game, my character hits the detonator, and we all blow up. And I was on voice comms, and I'm like, I apologize to them. And one guy's like, "Yeah, I saw your character's thumb twitch on the detonator," and but then it was too late. Dumb stuff like that. The silliest thing I've ever seen still is I was waiting, me and another player were waiting for a jet to spawn on a certain map, and an opposing jet screamed in, and this airstrip was in the corner of the map. And if you went outside the map, you started taking damage, and eventually your plane would explode. So we were in the corner of the map on this airstrip, and we were both waiting for a plane, and here comes screaming in this jet from the other's team, and they take their turn so hard and so low that their wing is almost on the ground, but they are completely sideways, and they take this corner, and the wing catches the other guy and sends him flying down the runway, and the plane just screams off. I miss games that have weird stuff like that. Those are the best moments in gaming in my book. And that was back on Gulf of Oman and Battlefield 2. Yeah, I need to set this up to automate. I don't have to keep moving stuff between machines. that needs to be a thing I work on. I'm not a big fantasy person, and I'm not a huge fan of the MMORPGs or MMO games that are technical. I don't know. I'm just weirdly not a super RPG player. Like, I really like the ideas of games like the Final Fantasy series and stuff like that, but I guess I just don't have it's not the attention span, it's just like the interest span. Like, I'll pick them up, I'll play them, and then I'll get tired of them. But then by the time I come back around to them, I won't want to pick them back up. I want to start from scratch because I don't remember anything. Oh yeah, Halo was amazing. I was a kid in high school when Halo 2 was out. It was amazing. We would have parties during the summer for people's birthdays and stuff. And it was like a bunch of kids, multiple Xboxes, playing Halo 2 multiplayer on local LAN. Like, as a kid, I did not get an Xbox for the longest time. Like, by the time the Xbox was pretty much at the original Xbox was at the end of its lifespan, was when I finally got an Xbox for like my birthday. No, the thing I got was I had a TV that I could pack around pretty easily, and I had a network switch and networking cable. And I was the one who would help make sure everything was working. And we would just play the hell out of Halo and Reach and stuff. Oh, so fun. Those were great times. Because I remember playing the Reach beta. I'd have to look, but I think my Xbox account still, my Xbox avatar, unless they've updated them to the point that the old items don't work anymore, my Xbox avatar has the Halo Reach beta shirt, beta like hoodie. So there is a part of me that really likes how stupidly complex original Final Fantasy VII is. Like, there's a part of me that actually really likes the weird materia system. And how the stat system works. There's a few, the gripes that I've seen is I wish the attribute damage elemental system, so it's the elemental system. The Final Fantasy VII elemental system is a little whack. But yeah, no, the Final Fantasy VII elemental damage system's a little weird. Yeah, just the magic system, materia in general being a thing you kind of just level up with its own stuff. How many materia you have equipped. Like, materia equipped plus equipment equipped plus like character stats make up your final stats. It just gets weirdly complex. And then your character can be in different states. Like, if I remember correct, there's a detrimental state that actually can help you in a lot of situations. Like, normally it's supposed to be a hindrance, but if you use it correctly, it's to your advantage. I have not played the new Final Fantasy VIIs, but I have watched them, and they're good. They're very tight. The systems work really well and have some interesting features. But we just got some of the biggest... Like, I watched Death Unites Us. The man that almost knows how Final Fantasy VII works, like, in and out. And lately, that him and the community that still play, like, Final Fantasy for the bugs, Final Fantasy VII original for the bugs, we have recently got two major things, which included Final Fantasy VII now has a way you can play it where Aerith never leaves your party and it doesn't bug out the game. Like, the way everyone was searching for forever, how to keep Aerith alive, finally was found. Just like within the last month. Twelve systems I like. 12's story I don't really care for, and 12's world layout is atrocious. Most of Final Fantasy 12 is a linear hallway, and I don't really like that. I'm sure there's people out there that love it. Not me. Just waiting on that. Don't know if there's an easy way I can automate that real quick. I guess slap a hopper on it. No, I need to pull out. I kind of need applied energetics because I need a place I can just dump stuff. I need a major storage area, and the easiest one is it'd either be drawers, but I hate this drawers mod. Yeah, I just think Final Fantasy XII overall, from what I've seen, is kind of lackluster. Like, I will say the new version of the newest Final Fantasy VII part that came out is amazingly well done for just everything you can do in it. Like, there is so much interesting side content and characters, and I think they did a really amazing job. And if they want to, like, get fans back and stuff, I think they just need to keep up with that formula that they used for the new Final Fantasy VII game. Yeah, that's what applied energistics is, pretty much item digitalization. You use drives to store items, and you can just dump them into one spot and you just make drive banks. Because it's so powerful, it's the thing that's hard to get to. I'm almost there, and even then I barely got the resources for it because they're actually hard to deal with. what was that, Intergrade? That kind of explains the Crisis Core stuff for Final Fantasy VII, which is weird as hell. I mean, I'm glad that... So they did integrate that stuff better in the new version. Because all Crisis Core and all that for Final Fantasy VII was all, like, prequel stuff that was part of the plot. I don't know. Some of the excess, like, extra Final Fantasy VII lore gets a little too strange even for me. Yeah, because I think right now for the new version of Final Fantasy VII, because it's not all the same continuity. That's the big thing, is they're definitely retelling the story, which is good. I think is good because it allows them to do more interesting stuff that allows old players to come back and play it and not be like, this is exactly what I knew. They're doing enough of that nostalgia, but they're doing enough new stuff that it's also really interesting to watch them do it. But yeah, I believe Integrate is the retelling of, what was it, Crisis Core? Which is everything that happens kind of before Final Fantasy VII. And then it's, what was it, Rebirth and Remake? Is the current series. Yeah, no, in the old one, there's Crisis Core, there's Dirge of Cerberus, there's the movie, there's Final Fantasy VII, there's a handheld, which is about the Turks. Like, like when you actually get into Sephiroth's full lore, it's actually kind of tragic. Like, even though he's doing all this horrible stuff, it may not be fully his fault, but it is his fault. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII has a lot of issues. Because if I remember correctly, Final Fantasy VIII is the junctioning magic system. It's been a long time since I've looked at Final Fantasy VIII. Like, yeah, there's an argument that Sephiroth is just... I mean, there's an argument that Sephiroth isn't even the bad guy of most of the game. I don't know. That's one of my favorite parts about Final Fantasy VII is the story is actually decently complex without being, like, contrived. I think I'm just sitting here talking about random stuff at this point. I'm waiting for stuff to process, which I need to set up automation for, but I think I am a bit out of it to do that for this stream. Yeah. I mean, it didn't help that a lot of the notes in the mansion were, like, edited. Well, I think I'm going to call it here for the recording. I hope everyone has a good night or evening whenever you're watching this, and I will see you next time.